Speak intelligently to people that talk about justice and truth and having faith in the. You can't have faith, okay, in human beings, okay? Faith is reserved for the origin of all things, for the essence of creation, okay? Faith, and people have faith in me. Trust me, you can trust me, okay, that I will not do anything selfish to betray or hurt you. Okay. Do you understand? Okay. You can trust me. I won't do that. Right. But faith in me? No, I have faith or it will show up. No, the motherfuckers just shot my ass. Okay. So you can't have faith in a human being. You can trust a human being as faithful. Okay. But that's not faith in that person. That's being faithful. Okay. To being trustworthy. Do you understand? So there's a difference. You cannot have faith in people, but you can be faithful to the gift of life that's given to us by the glory of God. Right? So you can trust me, okay? But you can't have faith in me. Okay, but you can understand that I am faithful. Okay? You can be faithful to your worship of God and be a loving person that people can trust, but people cannot have faith in you. Okay. If they murder me, my ass ain't going to show up to help you, right? Do you understand? Okay. So you cannot have faith in a human being. Okay. But you can believe that they can be trustworthy, okay, and that they will make a commitment to you and they will be faithful to that commitment because they are a faithful person. Do you understand? Is that making sense? I hope so. But it is a lot because you ever watch TV and stuff that's on the internet? God dang. No, these people, Rockefeller told me that numerous times. When he walked me around Sierra Vista and he was in my head for days. I'm like, okay, this man he's just breaking it down to me. And it was a lot like the Book of Job. Here you go, old innocent guy, good gravy, And then when that was happening, Jesus kept asking me, are you ready for the next thing? No. Okay. I was not ready to deal with emotionally. I was aware of it, but I didn't think about, what they were doing with human trafficking, what they were doing with the sexual exploitation of the young people in Mexico, and how it affected people even in the States and stuff. I was cognizant because me and Amy would watch like To Catch a Predator, and I explained to Amy, the disturbing part is there are young 14-year-old girls pursuing relationships with 35-year-old tech geeks. That you just see what I'm saying? They're obviously doing that for reasons that they're easily exploited, and they have money. Okay, they're not doing it because they want to have a relationship with the guy. They're doing to exploit the man sexually and then extort him for money. So the whole Catch a Predator, and they got these young cops that look like they're 14 but they're 22, and you're like, doesn't that disturb you? You're a cop. You're supposed to be able to solve crime. Where's the chick from High Potential here? What the fuck? Oh, Elizabeth, come on, Matlock, figure it out. Okay. I said and watched it with Amy, and it was like, the disturbing part is that this is happening. Okay, so what do we need to forgive that debt and trespass, love one, and send a faithful peace. And young girls with other people that they can enforce, like having a pimp. Like Rodney with his guys, it happened to him. They wanted me to take him down to, they were from Scottsdale, and they wanted me to take him down to Van Buren and get them prostitutes because I was streetwise. I said, I don't know nobody down there. I ain't down there. We ain't gonna get, you ain't gonna get nothing but down there but mugged. They ended up in a back alley in their underwear, and their cars and their wallets were stolen. Okay? That's what happened. The girls come back over here. The pimps were waiting. They took their cars, they took their wallets, and left them in their underwear on Van Buren. Okay? Rodney had to go pick them up because he couldn't get a hold of me because I was like, I told you dumbasses not to do that. Don't go there. I told him. He did the same thing with me in Denver. because I was friends with Danny Bennett and, in Casper. And then he went down and looking for fun in the down on Washington Street and shit in Denver. And I'm like, Rodney, you trying to get us? You need to get the fuck out of here. He's like, well, look, my street cred only goes as far as Casper, Wyoming. Okay, we're just two stupid white boys. I'm just a Mexican boy with a homosexual driving me around Denver in the middle of the night, and that's a bad recipe. Go to the hotel and stop being fucking crazy. He just didn't, he was having fun and being adventurous to him, and I'm like, that shit ain't fun and/or adventurous. You get yourself killed. Okay, I had that a lot of times with people. Because I was, you street hypocrite. I was like, no, all you're going to do is get yourself killed, motherfucker. You understand what's going on? I don't do this shit. Okay, the people that I know where I'm at, that we have an understanding, right? But we ain't in my town. That's not my peoples. And even my peeps, they know Earl don't do drugs. Earl don't hang out. You don't sell to his people. We don't get into scrapping, And so there's like a mutual understanding and respect. Okay, I know you got to pay your bills, but you ain't going to do it in my house, right? And so it was just understanding people. Okay, I understand what you got to do. But, it stops you. All right, I got you. Okay. I have respect for your existence, and I'm sorry that your existence is in that way, But when you go somewhere, you don't know. So I told Rodney that, and then told the kids from Scottsdale, I ain't know. I lived in Phoenix, but I'm from North Phoenix, and I didn't know, and I worked at Circles Records, but I didn't work at Circles Records till after that. Before that, we were up in North Phoenix. I was up in Glendale at Deer Valley High School, and I'd been with Danny, I played on a Pimps basketball team in Wyoming, and you know what I mean? So I knew my ways, and I knew the people, and I knew how to get along and be respectful. But if you don't know somebody, all that's going to do is just get you killed because they're going to think you fronting. And I was like trying to explain that to them. I'm like, no. What? Look, if you come up and you try to be yourself, if they know you and you're authentic because where you're from and what you like, then that's different. But if they think you just fronting, they going to get mad at you. So you're going to be like, damn, I don't know. Okay, hey, man, so you don't even want to go there. And that's what I tried to explain to them. It was like, damn, it's hard to explain to people that want to go to a demographic that the people that are in it don't even want to be in. Like I explained to Gabe and Mike when they was talking, they listened to Eazy-E and all them and shit when they was living in Playas. And I tried to explain to them, you don't know how much all the guys in NWA and shit like that would love to be being raised in Playas as opposed to Compton. Okay? You on a work site. You guys go, quad running and play soccer and baseball. Nobody gets shot. Nobody's trying to sell you drugs because they don't want to fuck with your dad and your dad's buddies from the church. Your boring life in Playas, okay? Fucking Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Eric Wright and Ice Cube they left testicle to be raised up in Playas. It's boring, but you're alive and your friends don't get killed on the way to school. Try to explain that to them. I'm like, yeah, y'all don't know. You trying to assimilate to them because you think it's cool, but it's not cool to be treated that way. And they would rather be in a town where dad got a steady job, dad's got medical benefits, you got a house, you got your own bedroom, fridge is always full. Yeah, you got to go to church every Sunday and give that, honey, don't give your money to that lying, cheating man. But the thing about it is dad can afford to be hoodwinked by the dumbass motherfucker because he got plenty of money, right? Working at a Phillips Dodge worksite as opposed to living in Compton or South Central or East LA, that they didn't realize how fortunate they were and that their dad got a foreman job and got a job where he was training instead of getting killed in that smelter. They were very fortunate. Well, he was trustworthy and he was hardworking and the people liked him. He had a good personality and he worked well with other people. So it wasn't because Jerry was kissing ass. It was because they appreciated Jerry. Okay. because he's a hard worker and he's a good person, and he'll make sure the job is done. He'll make sure it's done safely, and he'll, he listens, he pays attention, he cares about people. That's why he was one of the foremans at the workshop real, because he could do the job, he could do it well, and he got rewarded for doing so because he was trustworthy and he cared about others. Okay, so it wasn't because he kissed ass. It was because he was someone you wanted to work with in a dangerous job to make sure that he had your back. I know, because I was in the service and people was always, that way of Parsons. Yeah, it's Earl, He got your back. He's going to take care of you. You can trust me, but you cannot have faith in me. Okay? You can share my faith, and then you can trust yourself. Okay? Do that. See if we can get one more loaded after this. We'll find out. All right. Peace out, man.